We're back on Genshin. So, yeah, since we're back on Genshin, we can continue the story. Let's just quickly check what the game wants. Yeah, no thanks. Those were really difficult.
Everything's ready. Whoa!
Alright, let's get out of here. To Fontaine. Do 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 do. Sounds like a blooming nutcracker. You know, like the song Nutcracker. Oh, okay. Alright, where were we?
You! Yes, both of
Yay.
you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Yay!
Huh? You mean us? That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And by the looks of it, you're not from Fontaine.
Yeah, I wonder who you could be.
More about that one, but who are you?
She's the one and only Navia.
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president.
Neat.
Though those who play by
Best
our
Fontainian
rules
girl.
call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm
Silver is the best
Demoiselle's various daily
of
needs
the
and
two.
affairs are under my purview.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What gives with the names?
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my previous title.
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Hi, Navia.
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand. That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time. Judging from the look of things, I find Linny an unlikely mastermind.
Is it because he goes to the same tailor as you? Shiori?
Really? We think so too! But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition.
Okay, well, she's making a good first
Marina sure
impressions,
was quick
huh?
to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she? But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the Justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway,
Exactly.
a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
Oh, well, skeptic number two all
What's
of
your
a sudden.
opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her. All right, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Wait a minute, did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
Well?
And why
No.
would that be? See, Silver and Maloose? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based in fact. And if that can be done, boss, then...
All right, that's quite enough, Maloose. Anyway, I like your answer. You pass with flying colors. Now,
Controller.
I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence.
Wait! Since when did we become assistants?
Right, Controller is back here now.
Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fussy.
That's more like it.
Seems you're missing the point, Paimon.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth. You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances. In this sense, our goals are aligned.
Hey.
You have a point. Huh. You're quite the talker, aren't you, mister?
Why is she pointing to Aether? Ain't she talking about
And
Maloose?
what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
Oh, alrighty then.
We'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Lenny's tricks.
Oh, Navia. Hi, Navia.
Speaking of that, I think
What?
magic shows would be very popular in Poisson.
I can see that. Maybe I should try to learn some magic. If I could make things disappear, cleaning my room would be a cinch.
You need not worry about such things, Demoiselle.
Oh, right.
Wait, let me just... Dang it.
Speaking of that,
I can see that.
Dang it. So they all
Maybe I should
just
try to learn
talk
some
about the same
magic.
thing.
You need not worry about such...
Oh,
Anyway. Right, let's talk to the Melazine first. Hi, Melazine.
Sorry, but no
Tristan.
one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If...
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Linny and Lynette as attorneys. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes, after the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on. I doubt there was much opportunity then, either.
How can you be so sure?
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see
Fair
Lenny's
enough.
performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post. And I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave. We Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. Alright, thank you for your help. This'll be useful info.
No one left Opera House during the magic show, and an incident happened, well, no one left. Come on, Aether. Get a move on. Wait, what?
Whoever the murderer...
That's not what I wanted. Game. Oh, it was you. Okay. What
I
do
see
you
that
got
you're
to say?
investigating the area. If you find any new and interesting leads,
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first?
The thud? Oh, you mean the sound that happened during the countdown?
Yes, exactly.
Yep, that's what I was
It
thinking.
wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people heard it. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Lenny's trick with bated breath. So no one paid it much mind.
Yep,
That
that's
makes
what I was
sense.
thinking.
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Lenny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the water tank or something like that. And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope. sending the water tank crashing down.
Why would Lynette do that? You tell
Wait,
me.
Wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing. Oh, that's true. I suppose I must reconsider.
Yeah, reconsider.
That does.
Huh? What's up, game? Ooh, mail. Oh, yeah, right. I don't really need another Candace. Maybe I'll do it off stream if I feel like it. And we're only doing like an hour stream this time today. Oh, this. The magic box.
Whoever.
Seriously, games. I know. I'm choosing not to do them. Okay, go inside. No. Oh, the gods. Ugh. This game.
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation.
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
Alright, calm down, D-Luke clone with your blimmin' blonde ponytail.
Lenny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for...
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Thank you.
Even though it's bad for Linny's case, Paimon had better write it down.
Yep. Thanks, Paimon. Alright.
We've checked everything of note
Finally.
here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will...
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You don't have an
You may
hand.
spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
Thanks, Molly.
You've arrived. Who's this?
You know who it is. She's friends.
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and will be helping investigate this whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well,
Thanks,
let's just
Lily.
say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switch. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand.
Weren't there balloons and other decorations here?
Ah, good eye.
Yep.
That said, you're still far from discovery.
The back? You mean the inside of the door?
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly. All right, let's go.
Let's go down into the box.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the tunnel. See this flat? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end!
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
The what's a space?
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! Wow! Every detail you were...
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime. So Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Lynette's just giving both of them the death stare.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
Thank you, Lynette. Calm down.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Paimon, yon slip.
Speaking of which...
Actually, she literally never will be able to.
Water here?
Oh! Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug, and here's a broken vase!
That can't be.
Oh well. Oh! Oh! Oh, crud. I remember from my first playthrough, this is someone's blooming rest of their body.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from. Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be.
Right! And do you
Wait,
really
what?
need to do that?
How come Paimon's glasses aren't see-through anymore?
Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
Why weren't Paimon's glasses blooming? Oh, she has her glasses on for this bit. Cute. Alright. Check the clothing. Alright, so we need to check the ladder.
Huh. What's this?
I would grab
Looks
them, so
like
it's
a
not a ladder.
hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh?
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick.
Whatever it is.
The ladder. We need to investigate the vent.
What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could this have been the suspect's escape?
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them...
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down.
Yep, go ahead, write it down. Trolley.
Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes. Let's head back up.
Thanks, Navia.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the...
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the up. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or...
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see enough.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death... No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial.
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both... That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the Oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides?
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment. Yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this...
Huh? Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa!
What?
There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point. That said, are they providing food?
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Huh.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
it suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all.
Paimon.
Just kidding. Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
Are you sure you will?
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
You tell her, Navia.
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Well, we're going the exact wrong way to where we are supposed to go.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it.
These three are quite the interesting group.
Yep.
And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven. Oh, it's even better now. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
I was applauding.
Okay.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
I was just thinking, aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack.
Fair enough.
Anyway, give these a try. Fresh out of the oven.
Only 3?
Paimon.
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be
Fair
served
enough.
as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite. Strong black tea with a floral fragrance. No need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
Silver, what do you think?
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly.
Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her escape?
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does
Fair
she
enough.
have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the magic troop's members.
Fair enough.
Are we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing, though, Navia.
They are my specialty, after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3, honest.
Oh, Paimon.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough. Wait,
Paimon knows how much.
even you don't believe Paimon? How could you? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach.
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Malus, set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Where's the at the ready?
Well, this...
Well, that's it for snack time. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As a Turk, it would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
All right. Thanks
Fair
for
enough.
your help and for the snacks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
Bye. Snack time's over.
It's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial. Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to prepare. Here, take Paimon's notes. They should help you review the situation.
Thanks, Paimon. Alright. Let's go. Oh. There's me messing up all the buttons because I haven't played in a few days. Yo, it moves. Olatrice mécanique de l'analyse cardinale. Cardinal.
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing. Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks,
Yep.
Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
Bye. Well, time to add attorney to our resume.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed.
Oh,
That
calm
was
down,
to be
Farina.
expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence.
Just because we didn't find much doesn't mean we didn't find
But
anything.
don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Just you wait, Hydra
Since
Walk-On.
both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr.
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you
Fair
could
enough.
have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact,
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you
Fair
didn't
enough.
hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an...
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on.
How could Linny not know about the sound?
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye.
Calm
course,
down.
I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me,
Geo-solid,
aren't
you mean?
you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
The Fatui.
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
Oh.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now.
Oh. Aoife?
The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy.
The Discord notification. No, I'm joking.
Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
The Fatui.
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
The coroner was given how Linny concealed his identity. This all could have been set beforehand. Plus, Child is here in Fontaine of a house operative, so there must be a scheme here. Been victim of such schemes before and now?
Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
Oh, you're backing yourself in the corner here.
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn.
So you would... Lenny's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Dang it, you two. Why'd you hide it? Dang.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guy. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I
don't
very
blame you.
sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be... But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's
Well,
right.
your
I'm sure we're on the same
clan
page when it comes
hurts
to this
people.
nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
How can we know this isn't another con?
So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but... Right. Let's hear your answer first.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has consciousness.
Because
why
of
can it deliver
FOSA laws.
sense? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and
that air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite
Yeah.
certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground. But
Yeah.
the countdown was... After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But, like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
I believe in the facts. I'll defend you from these charges.
Thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
But
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we
Exactly.
want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense. Huh?
Here we go. Wait. Yeah, nowhere near. A brief adjournment ends and the nail-biting strike.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction.
That took long enough. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
Here we are.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, so Linney proceeded to knock him out. Afterward, Linney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stand.
And
there you have
is
it.
not it.
That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's?
The key to refuting Lady
Hey.
Farina is the order of events, what Linney experienced.
A for talks. So, Lenny did enter the tunnel, but Lenny did not attack Halsey, and yeah, Lenny didn't attack Halsey. Oh, right, yeah, fair enough. Yep,
According
okay,
to
thought
Linney,
so.
he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
Yeah, exactly. Then he kidnapped Halsey, which obviously couldn't happen. Alright,
Linney went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
Yeah. Lenny knocked out Cowl. No. Oh, it
Lenny
was
did not
close.
take part in the underground altercation.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. Duh.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Lenny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been the crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent!
Thanks, Paimon. Let's keep going.
Paimon did it! Paimon actually managed to say all that!
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's
Yeah.
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowl hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what
Yeah.
you say is true, Lenny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case.
Oh, they have a point.
Thank you.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims? Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that You're saying that he wasn't?
Yep. Alright, so...
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought?
Oh, right, fair enough. The strange sound.
That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you
The
used
vent.
to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Paimon, keep it professional.
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Vache. The only person who could have committed the crime
The
was...
deceased's name is Cowl, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper...
Yep, first try.
Huh? That can't be right. The killer was, in fact, Cowl, the deceased!
Oh, is that so?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowl did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Thank you. Would-be perpetrator to victim. So how can we envisage Lenny as...
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between them. Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment.
Yep. Right. How can I prove that there was an allocation in the tunnel?
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must...
Yeah, I've seen that. Prime
The
sus...
deceased's name is Cap... Lenny was not in the tunnel.
Lenny has not been able to interfere with the crime.
No one entered or left the opera house through. The sound we heard may have come.
Stop.
It would have been tough for both people to.
Right, yeah, fair enough. How come we envisage Lenny?
No one entered or left the opera house. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our... It would have been tough for both people.
There was an location in the tunnel.
It would have been tough for both people to fit. The deceased's name is Cowell. The deceased's name is Cowell. The sound we heard may have come... Halsey's clothing was in the
Oh, dang it.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that... No one entered or left...
Oh, come on.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff.
Look, since we're at a dead end, just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you...
Escaping from a water tank.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient?
Hey, no. We have an idea.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Hold it right there.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between... The deceased's name is Cowell.
Where did Halsey go?
The vase was not broken by...
I know exactly what I'm doing because of that old playthrough.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if how Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method...
Oh, just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment.
Hey. I can see 20 minutes into the future.
Into water? This is reality we're talking about here. Not... Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend, magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about 2 completely different things.
Even so, I trust the Traveler's judgment.
Thank you,
The
Linny.
truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
Fair enough. Thank you, Lenny.
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation...
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine...
A guard returns with news.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment.
Yeah.
This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's...
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partner?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased... Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the... Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues...
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Thank you. Who's the prime suspect?
The deceased's name is Cowell.
What item did the culprit use to control the timing of the... Oh! Okay. Are you telling me the vase was filled with primordial seawater to dissolve the lady?
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another mat.
Yeah, exactly.
The water from the primordial sea.
What item did the culprit use to hide the mechanism behind the crime?
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she have something to do with this?
No.
I remember there was something else with...
That. Hey, first try. Shame no one's on the live stream because they could see how smart my mind's going.
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again!
Ace Attorney.
In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower base to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Thank you, Paimon. The order to release is neutral.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that his notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new... I shall now invite him on stage.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people and we found an identical sample of the
What?
Oh,
Can't be.
that was planted. It's planted.
Does this not clear? My dear citizens, my loyal audience.
Alright, let's get down to
did
business.
Not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the... But upon his return, in cruel avarice, ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion...
Alright.
Am I right, Mr. Linny?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. Is this the end of the road?
Oh no. Or trees.
Oh no. Paimon can't think of anything. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move. Why did this have to happen now?
I think we've all seen enough now. And we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale.
Dun 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 dun
Now then,
dun.
my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linny, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that...
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Linny and Lynette, give it another go. Don't but, as the magic makers and stars of the show.
I understand.
Thank you, Navia.
And voila.
And voila.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away.
Hey! No wonder you look familiar. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
Professional thief
But I
could make it
swear, I
work.
didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lily-Ann's perspective.
Let's go. Time to refute.
Seems this won't produce a...
Alright, okay. Halsey dissolved.
The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lillian's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
Identify. In fighting between Lenny and Cal, Lenny wanted all the credit and glory. Let me just get rid of all the evidence for this. I thought so. I don't think there's any. So, she knocked him out.
Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just what one might expect of an experienced thief.
Yeah, thank you, Linny. Aether. The onstage accident. Alright, so nothing there.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the struggle between Lillian and Cowell.
Thank you.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time!
Again.
Selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not... He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who, mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes.
Thank you, Paimon.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she had
already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So,
Oh.
she swiped two of them right under our noses.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have...
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo! Bravo!
Bravo, bravo.
Now then, Lady Farina.
I...
Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
Yeah, Farina.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No. I have no further.
Wow! Look at that!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, the actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the... With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young... He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian, thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the Opera House. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent.
Woo!
While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case at least can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision.
So, Oratrice, what you got?
As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Woo!
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next,
Let's not celebrate
I
this,
think
yeah.
we deserve an explanation. How did you find the water from the
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, therefore you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of...
Yes, I'll tell you everything Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearance...
What did I miss through one line of dialogue? I mean, this is the boss we're talking about. Okay.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's true.
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Linny.
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end. I guess. But regardless, I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Heart, that was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Heart?
That's right. And since we're here, back when our parents first died, to survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after what.
So you went from orphans to
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner it.
That doesn't seem too bad either.
It took a while for me to realize. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh no. So he... But wouldn't Fontaine's law...
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care. And I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood. And the knave...
So, she'd already taken...
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans. Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever... I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles, but she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis's power once she obtains it. She plans...
So, she believes in that...
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water. Everyone at Hotel Bouffe d'été, including the knave, has their roots in Fontaine. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets, to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
It's all right. I understand. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own... If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Linny.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye, Linny.
Bye. Alright, we're gonna finish off after this bit. There she is!
Hey there! What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us now?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too?
I'm sorry, Navia.
What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people.
Ah, I see. Well, I won't lie. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Nav.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection... Sorry about... Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate...
Huh? Do we really need to get that for...
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there... Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navi is treating, Camp Paimon...
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine?
All right, then. Let's have our farewell meal.
Hey, finally. That took way too long. Alright, let's see. Only 90. But... Wait, what? I didn't want to go to Mondstadt. Really, game?
Ad Astra at... Thank you for complete... Ad Astra at...
Done. Wait, what? Oh, free wish, right. Oh yeah, and we got the achievement to collect. The auto trace mechanic then the least cardinal has delivered the verdict of not guilty. Hi, again. Bye again. Alright, let's try that again. Okay. Now we got what we need. Let me guess. Yep, thought so. Right, so now we got the ones for Shogun 2 and Ito. Alright, let's claim that Nahida wish. Oh, come on! Hotel, daughter bad. Hotel Dora. Can't wait till we finally go to Natlan.
I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often after growing up. I hope.
Oh, don't worry. We haven't eaten at a hotel like this in a while.
Oh, in that case, I'll go order for us first.
Oh, I remember this part.
Everything looks so good.
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good, I'll make a group reservation for the rest of Spina di Rosula next time.
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still...
Yeah. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory feast, right?
Oh, true. Very true. In that case, boss, we'll have another 2 dishes.
Huh? Paimon didn't...
Wait, you told me celebrations more...
Do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon now?
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's about it.
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have ever believed that a person could be dissolved like that.
Yeah.
Right? Yet it was because this was such a preposterous notion that the investigation could never really move forward before.
If only that guy could have finished speaking.
In such investigations, even the smallest step can seem like a yawning chasm. To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities might conduct. It's not that I don't have faith in their ability. It's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective. A shift in thinking is required at such times in order to produce a breakthrough, which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exists. Those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why we exist.
Seems Paimon thought things were simpler than they actually are.
Things are never that simple.
It's all right. Well, this was supposed to be a farewell meal. Let's talk about something else. Like, what are your future plans?
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended. It didn't...
I see. So, your primary objective, which has been foiled so far. I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a while.
Yeah, we've heard that she's super
Well, would you consider some more, unique ways?
Navia.
Perhaps even methods of, let's say, questionable legality?
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you.
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to her after the performance. I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending, and would agree in order to finish...
Can you suggest something a little more practical?
All right, here's another. Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed. Then, wake her up in the dead of night and demand answers. I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything as long as I can finally get some sleep.
That might work, but...
Valid point. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a person's desire for sleep. All right, no more joking around. Perhaps you could. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations. false accusation she had nearly upheld personally.
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, why don't we give it a try after this meal? You know.
Huh? Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Was this your drink? Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. We're just about done here.
Alright. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fanta anyway. It tastes kind of salty and icky.
Is that so? If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Yeah, we're stuck.
Navia, you were nearly poisoned if it weren't for Paimon.
Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore.
We could try walking.
That would be so normal. You know, like you. Hey, Navia, what are you doing?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
That was a pretty pricey meal.
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to contact the Spina di Rosula. In any case, I wish you smooth sailing. I'll see you again, partner.
See ya!
Bye, Navia. As light rain falls without reason. What? Alright, let's get over here.
There aren't many people around anymore.
Vache.
Vache.
Looks like we're back here again, huh? Traveler? Are you...
Vache?
Hey, why are you still walking towards it?
I can feel strong emotions.
Hey, Traveler? Stop walking!
Oh no.
Come on, wake up!
Well, I guess we're in Vache land. Who is this?
Vache! Are you my dear Vache? No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know I'm... Wait. Who am I? I'm very sorry. I fear I do not know. My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I... Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I am but the consciousness of one who is lost, therefore. I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in... I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure, loved explore. No matter where I went, Vache would go with me. But now, we can no longer go back. No! Our reunion no longer has any meaning. The thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath the waters. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move. Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters. If only I could have comforted him. Told him that I did not suffer. Is that what you call it? Dissolving. It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace. I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world of endless want and anxiety. I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think. Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence.
Thank you, Oceanid. Time for battle. Good job, Navia.
Demoiselle, look out!
Blade.
God, it's a whole army of Gardamex.
Clorand.
Clorand?
Rock and roll.
Quick, now's our chance!
Let's go. Man, what's some epic music? I have to find this on Spotify. Nice job, Navia. Dang, thanks for the help, Aether.
I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Clorand. But before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of late.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called stalking, is it not?
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety.
Do not speak of my father!
Oh, she's going emo.
Sorry, Demoiselle. I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Clorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech.
Sorry, I did not consider your feelings.
Please consider them next time, Clorand.
What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that
I doubt I know much more than you. But I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is very powerful. Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this long to act against me. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law. I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful, and do not act rashly.
I will continue investigating, no matter what. We will... Regardless, thank you for your help today, Clorand.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you.
Paimon and Aether are still talking.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've gotten today.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Clorand was being sincere with you. If we tried, we could attempt to thaw relations.
I know, I just... She's...
What just happened?
Goodness. Paimon thought we were dumb. Those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and her gang saved us. Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too. We got lucky there. Paimon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, anyway. In truth, I hope that every meal we have together shall be a victory feast. As such, we're
no
still
casual
partners.
snacks.
There's no need to thank me.
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's magnanimity.
If it were me, I would have joined the Spina di Rosula on account of her goodwill long ago.
All right, you two.
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger?
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon.
Huh? Really? Paimon contributed somehow?
Yes. All thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake.
How did that help?
After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases. That the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky. Fanta only comes in sweet flavors. So how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall, had also been a bit off.
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the...
Yes. So, if you...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak for saving the boss.
Really?
That's put her in danger again, and her Paimon? No, I'm joking.
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate. But whoever did this left no... That's when I figured out that you might be in danger, and hurried...
What? Why would they go after us, too?
Well... You did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of. Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial seawater?
Well, it can't be a coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too. But it was real faint. Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's used on people who are not from Fontaine?
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
New intel? What?
Well, let's hear it, shall we? Oh. Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped since he saw that young woman dissolve. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial. Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate.
Alright, partner.
You mean you'll help us investigate?
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count. And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not. You're not gonna let those people who targeted us get off the hook so easily, are you, Traveler?
This will prove to be the biggest mistake.
Mademoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased. You are the face of Spina di Rosula, after all.
Shut it, old man. She's happy.
You talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head back to one of our bases, shall we? Also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners.
Don't worry, you two.
Can we do
With us
Calvin
around,
in?
our base is definitely secure.
Oh, whatever the heck that said. Anyway. Hear the ocean, it's cool, and connect with the conscious. 30. Oh. That's bad. Alright, I suppose that'll do it for today. Ta-ra.